What up, y'all? Today I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist and how they've rejected themselves. Okay, so if you really think about your relationship with the narcissist, a lot of it is in regards to, we always talk about how they project. And why is that? And we also hear that they never tell the truth, they're always lying, right? So they're always lying, but they will only tell the truth when they project. So projection, for all y'all that don't know, and what projection is when they are trying to, I always say that when your walls are open, or when you check them, meaning a check is kind of like you question them about their judgment or something that they've done or something they've lied to you about. You're checking them as what I call keeping them accountable. So, that's something that a partnership is about, a relationship's about. And when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're not dealing with regular humanity. You're dealing with somebody outside of, the human narrative, nature of things. Meaning their whole operation is backwards from humanity, legit backwards. And so when they are projecting, people always say they tell the truth when they're projecting, and that's because these are things that are inside of them that when you question them, they start to rage with you. And if you're unawoke, an unawoke empath would start to get reactive with them, meaning you have feelings and you care about them, and you've put in a lot of work and time with them to try to understand them, and you're really confused. This is an unawoke individual partner, love partner relationship. So you open up, meaning like you're wearing your feelings on your shoulders, and then they're raging at you, and you're trying to not rage back, not be anything but just get answers. Just, can I get an apology, and to understand what the heck is going on, because you've been dealing with this on a daily basis, sometimes for years. So you're getting involved emotionally because it starts to bother you. You're starting to feel like a psychotic individual yourself, because they're denying things that are true, that are really happening. And after a while with an individual, you start to feel delusional yourself, but really you're legit normal. And what you need to work on is boundaries, and to choose a better love partner, and to love yourself more, and to not second guess yourself. But you grew up in a certain kind of way, which is not your fault, because you didn't choose this way. This is all you know. The only thing that you can do is when you wake to this, generally speaking, now it is your fault if you continue down this path. So you want to strengthen yourself and change, and to what I call adjust to maintain, So, but projection is when you're checking them, and they don't like what you're telling them because they're perfect. They wear the mask. So this is where it's kind of like they're wearing the mask, and the mask is squeaky clean, meaning everybody out there sees it as, they're perfect. Okay? And that's the way they view it. They're perfect. And so they're telling you everything that you're checking them on, or anything they're doing behind your back, they start to project it onto you, meaning you're doing it. So they fling it on you. But really what it is them telling the truth about what they're doing behind your back, or what they're doing on a regular basis. And this is the way that they purge all of their negativity. And if you're open, say, like I said, if you react instead of respond, you're opening all your spiritual walls, your energetic walls, and your aura gets holes all poked into it, you're opening it up to them. And they're able to switch energy with you. And that's similar to, I personally believe, when you have sex with them, you're opening up every wall. And so sometimes I do believe that in their nature, you know, if they can't get through to you and switch energy with you, project onto you, meaning their false self, if they can't project it onto you and get your energy, then they may get it through sex with you. If you're susceptible in that way, they're going to try to penetrate you if you're a high energetic empath. I mean, if they can. If they can't, like I said, if they can't exploit you, meaning they can't have sex with you, they can't project onto you, they can't get money out of you, they can't get, you know, you giving them admiration, then they're going to leave you, because there's got to be something in it for them. And greater, it's got to be greater than what they give out. Remember, because they have negative reciprocity, or negative, you know, like you know, if they put in 50%, they got to get 100% back. I mean, because they're evil people, man. They're not fair. Period. That's why we call them evil. Evil means unfairness. You know, to steal. You know, God hates a thief. Well, the narcissist steals in every way. And when you're stealing energy, when you're stealing people's precious time on this earth, when they have to make major decisions for their soul, and you're getting it all consumed by the narcissist, you're not going down the right path. So just keep that in mind, because you're only here for a short time, and the last thing you need to do is spend it with evil on a daily basis. So this is the thing. They're projecting their false self, or their true self, onto you. That's really their true self. Their false self's the mask. So they're going to project that onto you like you're doing it. You're the one lying when you say, hey, I caught you cheating, you know. I'm right here in front of you. Caught you all both. No, you're doing it. Or it's your fault, you know. And they'll break you down, and then, you know, when your walls are open, generally speaking, you're into the accepting of it, because you're wanting to get answers, you're wanting to help, you're wanting to love them, you think they're on your side, so you're going to be willing to accept anything they throw at you, whether you like it or not, because you're open. But my point is that is them rejecting themselves. See, that's the thing. The false self is their pristine mask. Okay, that's their false self. That's like everybody out there thinks they're perfect, they're almost angelic, they're, you know, helping the sick, the needy, and they're very polite to everybody, and you know, humble, you know, sometimes standoffish. And that's not the case at all. That's the devil, man. Because who they really are is who they're projecting onto you. All that garbage, that sin, I call it sin soul energy, and then they take your good soul energy, and you're walking around like them. See, they're projecting their true self, which is, when they project their true self, they're rejecting their true self. And unfortunately, their true self is gotten so evil, because all they want is this mask to look clean. And all they protect and all they work on is this mask. And so it makes them even more and more fake, because they're focusing on this fake mask. And that's why the narcissist, when you wake up to them, you're like, oh my God, you're like completely a lie. You're a complete sham. If they didn't focus always on the mask and focused a little bit on themselves, they wouldn't be a complete sham. And that's the thing. You go into this so deep, and they have so much seduction involved, and seducing and manipulation and triangulation, all this stuff, that by the time you wake up or you get so far involved with them, you're actually trying to rationalize how you can fix it. And morally, how morally deprived you've become by saying, well, if I can get him to just not cheat on me, then, I could deal with all the lies, the betrayal, and everything else. I mean, really, this is what it turns you into. And that's what I say is the worst, because that is it's one thing to get the crumbs from the table of God. Hey, those are good crumbs, y'all. But, to get the crumbs from the table of the narcissist, I mean, how much worse is that than anything you could ever imagine? I mean, they're full of trash, and then you're just wanting to get a crumb from them of goodness, and it ain't even goodness. It's just a validative crumb. But my point is they have rejected themselves. Anytime that you are talking to them about their true self, they'll rage. They'll leave you. They will ghost you. They will silent treat you. They will act like you don't exist anymore. The only thing that makes them feel good is them being adored, looked up to, told that you couldn't do the job that you did without them, the work that you did without them. You couldn't have gotten your style without them, their help. You couldn't have gotten any advancement in anything in your life without them orchestrating it for you. See, for them, they have to be a perfect king and queen, a perfect God. That's what it is. And so it's even hard for them, but to even, that's why they can't even have a relationship with God, because they have to be the top dog, man. And I'm talking about like even with creation. A lot of times they say the narcissist doesn't believe that life existed out here on the earth until they were born, and it will never exist after they're gone. I mean, this is kind of like the way their thinking is. That's how backwards it is, y'all. And so anytime that you address anything of the real them, they reject it. So they have completely rejected themselves. And so that's why there is nothing in there, because they always focus on this mask and how they can make the mask better and more manipulative, so that they could devise evil against you and get away with it easier. So that's why the longer you're with them and the more that you take them back, they're not actually getting better, but they're fitting that mask on better for you. They're tailor fitting it to get over on you easier. You see? That's why as they get older, when they go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, they're getting in more contact with more negative energy and entities and attaching to more and more of them. And that's why I talked about in the Bible that a guy had a legion of them in him. That's 10,000 negative demonic entities. I mean, but because legion is an amount, it's a number. It's, so. But this is the thing, they've rejected everything. And anytime that they rage, they will be, that's because you address something of their real life that they don't want to see, that they have denied. And that's where they live in this fantasy. The fantasy is the mask, and everything that is entailed and attached to the mask is perfect. That's called the fantasy, and that's what they make you believe. That's how they draw you into the fantasy. In the love bomb phase, they draw you in by you falling trapped to believing what they are putting forth, right? Until the mask slips, meaning you see that their actions don't meet their words, and then you're starting to catch them in lies, and you're starting to see how they treat some individuals when nobody else is around but you and them, or the way they start treating you, and telling others that, you behind closed doors, they're acting one way with you, with the mask off, and then they go out and they talk about how they did all these great things when you know what they were doing because you were behind closed doors with them. And they don't even look the same. See, the longer you're with the narcissist, they get more comfortable with taken that mask off in your presence, because they also feel like you're never going to leave. And they feel like they get comfortable knowing that you're an extension of them, that you are not your own entity, that you are like an arm of them. But they have gotten used to that because they're just an arm of Satan, or of the entities that are an arm of Satan. It's all one. That's all one body as well, just like Christ has a body. And that's why it's hard for you to have a relationship with God, because how do you have a relationship with God when you're an extension, when you're in a relationship with the extension of the enemy? Ooh. And you're becoming an arm of them. How do you back up the enemy's lies and be intertwined in a relationship with them and have a relationship with God? You can't. And if anything is lukewarm, when it talks about he would spew you out of his mouth, God speaking, this would be extremely about the bottom of the barrel of lukewarm. So whether you're married to, this is the one case where I would say if you're married to one of these narcissists, this is not when, in my humble opinion, when God said don't, he doesn't believe in divorce or whatever. In this case, he does not want you with the narcissist. He doesn't, because you can't do anything about it to fix it. You can't help. The only way you can help yourself and your family is to leave, because they will destroy you. But I wanted to get at that because, also the friends that they hang out with, they don't respect anybody that is close to them. In fact, they respect, that's why they treat people outside the home, in a narcissist family, they treat people outside the home great, and they treat the people they know and the family in the home terrible. And, we used to talk about that as siblings, it's like, why does that occur? Well, it occurs because they don't respect people that are an extension of them, because they know that they're trash. So they know if you're hanging out with them and you're enabling them, then you're trash too. I mean, because they know that a true person that really cared about them would tell them how they're being wrong. They know they like the real, but they don't want to hear it. That's why they're the opposite. When they get the real and break the real person down, or they like the real person, but when they get the real person, they don't want to hear the real. They don't want them to be real. You see? Then if they break them down to being unreal, they don't like that either. So that's why they always say the only way you could have a narcissist respect you is for you to not ever be with them anymore, for you to reject them, walk away from them, to deny their love, to deny their time with you. You don't have time for that. You're on a mission, man. Your mission is to be about your Father's work. And I'm talking about your Father in heaven. But they don't care about their friends. They don't respect them because they're similar to them and they enable them. And that's, that's how it works. They love themselves, and they love the false mask, and the only thing they want to hear is adoration, admiration, how perfect they are, how God status they are. Or people that fear them, they like that too, because that gives them, they want people to fear them. That's power and control as well. So people that really hate them and let it seethe inside, they like that, because they also know that person fears them, and they also get fuel from that, because fuel gives them life, fuel from adrenaline. Anyway, that's all for today. I hope that helps somebody out there. If you're on, give me a like, subscription, and a thumbs up. But why they're hollow and soulless in one way is because they rejected every part of them. That's why we can't reject any part of us, and we need to go inside sometimes on our shadow work and do shadow work, meaning places where we may have negative attributes, we need to accept them instead of rejecting those just like the narcissist would. And we need to accept everything of us, and then we can be real completely. And then we can go inside and work on healing those innermost parts that are, what we call shadow work, meaning on the shadow side, the people that people out there don't see, but we all have sin in our life. So accept all of you. Don't second guess yourself. Listen to your intuition and work on your shadow self to becoming everything that you need to become to succeed in life, and most importantly, the next life, the life to come, your forever life with God. So till next time, peace. Stand tall, soldier up. We out.